Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmommate.wordpress.com. You know, I always try to answer the questions that I get that are a little bit more elaborate than what I can tell you in the comments. So today I'm going to answer another one of those questions, and that is about homeschooling and doing housework. Now, first of all, I really think that I have to point out the fact that if you are looking for tips on keeping an absolutely spotless house, this is not the place for you to find that. Being the mom of a very large family in a smaller house that is lived in, you know, with kids being home all the time, a large number of kids, yes, our house is lived in. So if you are looking for one of those beautiful, majestic houses that you will find on other channels, I don't have tips on how to make my house look like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I am going to give you a realistic look at balancing homeschooling and housework. Because to be honest with you, I really think that a lot of those people probably either have a housekeeper every now and then, or actually, I don't know. Maybe they have a cleaning fairy. So if you are actually one of those homeschoolers who does have a spotless house all the time, and if you don't have a housekeeper, and if you don't have to act like a drill sergeant and have your kids clean all the time, I would love for you to leave some tips in the comments to get to that point. But again, I'm just going to give you a real life view of how you can keep your house presentable. That is what I am striving for nowadays, is presentable. And you know, I'm going to be honest with you, that was really hard for me at first, because before we started homeschooling, I was always very meticulous about our house. You know, the carpet had to be vacuumed so that the lines from the vacuum looked a certain way, and everything I dusted every day, and I had certain days to do the windows and certain days to do all sorts of things in the house. And since I only had 2 children home at the time and the rest of them were at school, I had 7 kids. Okay, no, so then I would have had 3 kids at home and 4 kids in school. I really did have far more time to clean. And actually, one of my kids even brought home a paper from school where it was a worksheet, and the teacher asked to name something that their mom and dad are good at. And one of my kids put down, "My mom is good at cleaning." So yeah, it hurts my heart to say that I have no way for you to have like a completely spotless house. But what I am going to tell you today is that you really need to remember that when you are homeschooling your children, your kids are creating memories. And if you focus too much on having that Better Homes and Gardens looking house and become obsessed with it, you're going to lose a lot of those memories that you could be making with your kids. So that's the first thing I want to say, is just really, really focus on that. And actually, a long time ago, a very wise woman who I am still friends with to this day said to me, "What do you think that your kids are going to remember when they are older? Are they going to remember how much you played with them or how clean the house was?" And I think that is a really good place to start. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you what we do to keep our home presentable, a home with 11 people in it. And these are just some really simple ideas that you could possibly work into your home that might work for you, they might not. I don't have all the answers, but I always have people ask me how they can do this, so I'm going to try to help you in that way. So first of all, I think it's really important that you include your kids in the housework. Children, even very young children, can be given simple chores, such as helping you to empty the dryer, or sometimes maybe helping to put, you know, the forks and spoons away in the drawer. And you know, so starting very young, and you know what, they like to be included. So have your kids start with little chores. Now what we do in our home is I will actually start assigning real chores to my kids once they hit about 6 years of age. And what we do is we have a chore rotation. So each child does the same chore for a month before they then switch to a new chore the following month. And the reason that I decided to switch monthly is because, first of all, having them do something new every month is a way to kind of get rid of the boredom that they might feel with doing the same chore every single day. But I don't want to switch out their chores too much, because I do want them to start doing it very well. I want them to get used to doing it, to know how to do it. And I think that a month at a time is a good way for them to get into a routine for that particular chore. So with our chores, we actually do those twice a day. So every day, the kids and I will work together, and we will do chores at 1 o'clock, and that is right after we've eaten lunch, and it's about an hour before my husband gets home from work, because I think it's really important that if your husband is out working all day long, or if your spouse in general is out working all day long, you know, it's nice that they come home to a clean house. So yeah, to me it's very important. So we do that at 1 o'clock, everyone will do their chores, and then at 6 o'clock again, which is usually around the time that we are finished with dinner, chores will get done again. And I will add in that every school day, and sometimes on non-school days, depending on the state that the house is in, we will also do a quick pickup time around 9:30 in the morning, where everyone works together and just does a quick straightening of the living room, dining room, and kitchen. So doing just these 3 small things really can help you to kind of stay organized, and it can, again, have your house look more presentable than if you don't have any sort of routine at all. Now, going beyond that, I think it's very important that you do have some sort of day in which you do what I call deep cleaning. So we call it deep clean day. And what we typically do right now is every week we have a nature study day. On that nature study day, we will also incorporate a deep clean of one room in our house. So, for example, everybody might work together to deep clean the kitchen, and then after it is done, we will go out and do our nature study. And doing the deep clean before the nature study is a great motivation for the kids to not dawdle and to get done, because they want to get out there and do that nature study. So having a deep clean day is a really great way for you to get all of those things done that aren't typically done on chore days. You know, things such as washing windows and washing walls, really getting a good sweeping and mopping in there. Like a scrubbing of the floor even if you have to. And again, this is something that we all work with together. We play some music, and you have to have as much fun as you can, even though it's cleaning and the kids might not be thrilled about it. It is such a nice feeling to look at that room when you are finished and just think, wow, look at what we did together. Now, as another idea, if you don't want to deep clean one room a week, another thing that we used to do is, since we do take we do school for 6 weeks and then we take a 1 week break. So what we used to do was, on that 1 week break, that was when we would do deep clean. But instead of just deep cleaning one room, we would deep clean like the whole downstairs plus both bathrooms. And that is what we used to do. But I found that it actually helps us more if we deep clean one room every week on our nature study day, because it just helps us to stay more organized and kind of to stay on task a little bit. Now, I do have on my blog a little printable that I made of weekly chores that you can do, and you can, kind of post it somewhere so that your kids have a reminder of things that can get done every week depending on what their chores are. So I'll leave a link to that in the description if that would help you at all. But really, those are just the basic things that we do to keep our house, I'm going to say, in order, but I'm not going to say spotless. Again, if you have a spotless house and don't have a housekeeper, or don't have cleaning fairies, or don't have to be militant with your kids about cleaning all the time, let me know how you do it, because I would love to know. But in the meantime, I've got to say that, although it was hard for me at first to kind of let go of that criteria that I had for how the house had to look, in a way it's better for the kids, because that way, if they're working on a project and they're leaving it on the table, for a few hours or even for a day or two, like when we made our castle, it was there for a couple days. Years ago, I would have never allowed that. But this has given the kids a little bit more freedom. They feel more comfortable in their own house because they're not afraid of getting things a little dirty every now and then. The important thing is just teaching them to clean up after themselves, which I still have to get on my kids every now and then, pretty often, like every day. I have to remind them about cleaning up after themselves. But you know, just work a routine into your home. Like I said, we start out with a quick pickup at 9:30 in the morning, and then everyone does chores at 1 o'clock and then 6 o'clock, and then we have a deep clean day once a week. And that has really helped us to just kind of keep a handle on things in our house. So anyway, that's all that I have for you today. I hope that it's given you some ideas. And you know, I wasn't joking. You know, my house would never pass for, like, you know, a castle or anything like that. But again, you still want your house to look nice if company comes over. You want to not be embarrassed to let them in. And that's what I think is the most important thing of all. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one down below. And if you like my work, I encourage you to check out my Patreon page and see what I have for my patrons there. And I hope you have a good day.